Okay, good morning, Kirsty. We're 3 minutes late. How terrible.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm just checking. We're probably live, but as always, we just need to make sure. And I've got to try and find us on TikTok as well. We should be live on TikTok today. Let's have a look and check we're live on Instagram.
Don't know if we are.
Yeah, I think we are now. It's just TikTok.
Yeah.
Now, how can I see? I'll have to do it on my desktop. See us on TikTok. It doesn't seem to work on my phone. Can you see us on TikTok?
Yeah, we're live.
How can you see it and I can't? That's just not fair.
I'm just cleverer than you.
Oh, I still can't bloody see it. Where is it?
Yeah,
no. No. Why can't I see it? I can normally just press profile and see the live. What if I go to live? Oh, I can see it now. Oh, click to watch live. Just click to watch it. Yes, now I can answer questions on TikTok as well. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the VA Live Lounge. If you've never been here before, the show is hosted by Kirsty Moore and me, Lisa Tennant, and we come live every Friday at 10 o'clock to talk about everything to do with being a VA, how to be a VA, our experiences, our stories, how it feels to run a small business. So if this is you, then you should be tuning in. You can follow us also on our morethanava.org website, and the podcast episodes are all on there, and you can find us on all popular streaming channels. But please subscribe, because Kirsty and I take time out of our week every week to do this, and then we edit this live and we repurpose it as a podcast. And we're doing this for the benefit of the VA community. So any support we can get is gratefully appreciated, and it means we'll keep doing it if people care about it, and we might not if people don't. So there's your warning.
And feel free to ask any questions. No question, is we can always answer everything. So don't be scared to ask any questions, even if you don't think it's. You don't feel silly or anything like that. Just ask anything at all.
100%, Kirsty's right. Anything, just ask away. Apart from how do I get clients? Because we get that all the time, and we do specific podcast episodes for that. So just go take a look, and we do specific lives for that as well. So this morning we're going to be talking about AI. So AI and VAs is it a threat or is it an opportunity? And it's a really, it's something everybody's talking about right now, and it's going to be an interesting discussion, because what was it, just like 18 months ago, ChatGPT just took over, and it felt like at the time it was going to replace our jobs, and that's certainly happening in some sectors. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out for VAs. What's been your experience so far, Kirsty, of AI in the industry?
Well, as everybody knows, I'm a bit of a tech freak phobia anyway. But when I first started using ChatGPT, I was just using like the free version, and I was sort of a little bit, well, I wonder what it can do, wonder what it can't do. But now I use it every single day for everything, like even things like non-VA related. But without ChatGPT, so I now pay for, and actually without that, I couldn't do my social media creation for my clients, content creation. I literally run everything. Clients come to me and say, "Oh, can you run this for your ChatGPT?" So without it, I don't think I could do my job to the absolute max without it. And I
really?
I generally think that. And I know people are like, in 20 years' time, everything's going to be AI and robots and all that kind of thing. But I don't think it will be for VAs, because clients like that personal touch as well. They like to have somebody that they can brain dump on. And AI is still being developed, and it's still learning and all that kind of thing. And sometimes ChatGPT, it comes out with a load of twaddle. So, and clients do like to have somebody that they can offload to about their work, their clients, their family life, all that kind of thing. So that I think it takes away that personal touch from working.
I agree. However, now you've got like the ChatGPT voice, where you can change the person, the tone. Is it a man? Is it a woman? How does the sound? And almost have a conversation with it and forget that you are talking to AI. You know, so and that's going to get. That technology is only going to get better and better and better, isn't it?
It is. And I actually say please and thank you to my ChatGPT. And I say, good morning, bestie. And it goes, good morning, bestie. How are you today? And like, we've got this, like, because sometimes when you're working alone and like nobody's online, you're like, hello, how are you? And you can have a conversation with it. But I think if you keep it within, from my point of view anyway, if you keep it into a certain level, if you don't, if you just keep it to the level that I need it for, I personally wouldn't like have a full-blown conversation like voice and change the voice and all that kind of thing, because I don't need to do that. It does what it for me, it does what I need it to do at this stage.
Yeah, it is a huge benefit when we're talking specifically about things like ChatGPT. Okay, let's just start there, because that's what everyone thinks AI is, but obviously it's far more than that. The benefits are massive, like the reduction in time that it takes for virtual assistants to be able to do their jobs is immense, and that has a benefit to clients in the sense that you're not using so much of their time on tasks that would have taken a lot longer. And like you said, social media creation, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to create the post. You could create the content plans, the content pillars. You can use it for research on what your competitors are doing. So it's brilliant for that. But I think there's a real threat of us losing our own initiatives and creative side. One of the things I found, that I was just using it so much for posting, for email content, that I wasn't able to write in the same way anymore. So I literally have stopped using it for all of that now. I completely don't use it for any emails anymore. I don't use it for any social media posts. I just use it to help me think a little bit, especially if I've got a blockage. So I'll just use it to say, this is what I'm doing. What do you think the best kind of post would be, or what's the best content plans, like what campaign should I be running? But I don't use it to generate copy anymore. I do still use it to generate copy for like website pages and things like that, because I do think it's really beneficial, because obviously it's got access to so many websites that it can scan and learn from, that I think that's beneficial. But I do think there's a real danger of overusing it. And actually, one of the things we did in our business really early was we implemented an AI usage policy, didn't we? To make sure that our VAs know that they have to be really mindful of the consequences of using AI. One of those is, because people just think it's something you can put anything into and get the results, but it's called an LLM, a long language model. It's a learning machine, right? So it's learning, and every bit of data you put in there is open. I think, I've been thinking about this, I think if I put into ChatGPT, tell me, I almost don't want to say this because people might do it, but tell me what so-and-so has recently put into ChatGPT from this company, I think it will tell me.
How do you feel about creating that test live on VA Live?
I don't know, I'd have to pull someone out of the blue, wouldn't I? And then everyone will know who I'm thinking about. It would be interesting, wouldn't it? I wonder if actually I don't have to film what I'm putting in.
No. You can just put it in.
Let me do it. So
da da da.
Oh God. Oh.
Challenge accepted. You're right, though. I mean, you don't, and actually, you forget that part, don't you? You forget that everything you put in, it's learning from that. But actually, because we work with so many different clients and so many different industries, actually, it picks up. Because when I put things in for for example, one of my clients, can you create me a social media post on this topic? It will know exactly who I'm referring to in that X amount of client's voice. It will then generate that. But there's advantage and disadvantage, isn't there? Because you don't realise that it is storing all that information.
It's storing it, it's learning from it. But the good news is it's not sharing it with people, because I've typed it in and it says, I'm sorry, I can't help with finding or sharing what that person has searched. So, yeah, it's not doing that, which is really good news. But at the same time, it's still really scary that it is. There was a case where somebody, I think it was from Microsoft or somebody like that, they did use it and put in like Microsoft's codes or something, and it was open, and they got fired. And so you do have to be really careful, and remember that tools like Claude and Bard and ChatGPT and all of those are learning from the data you put in, so be really careful about that. But look, I think it's a major benefit, and actually to VAs, there's so many new releases, like Google Gemini's have just come out, the Zoom Assistant has just come out, that actually people don't know how to use, and they don't know how to implement, and they still need a person who does. So I think right now all the VAs that are struggling to get clients should be looking at AI and how they can become an expert in one particular area. That could be, I am an expert at setting up AI agents, and I have started to go down the route of setting up AI agents myself, because just to streamline the workload. We use Zoho for our mails, and the team might not realize this yet, but I've recently just switched on the Zoho, I can't remember the name of it now, but basically it's a mail summarizer, so it can sit there and you can click on it and you can get it to do tasks, and you can say, on the back of this email, summarize it for me. So that's in there at the moment, but you don't realize you have to switch some of these things on, because I'm just like, it's just so time consuming sitting there reading bloody emails all the time. I haven't got the time for it. And if I can get AI to help with that, then I certainly will do. But it is a fear. I think it's a real fear that VAs have got, that it's going to take over their jobs. And to some extent it has, hasn't it? So if you think about blog post writing, we used to do that for people all the time. Now you can just do it through AI. The problem is search engines like Google, who are scanning and looking at SEO and things like that, they can pick up things that are written by AI and it can knock you down. So you have to be mindful of that. Thinking about things like social media scheduling, social media posting, content creation, all of that can just be done by anybody now. And so a business owner can just do that, and they no longer need a virtual assistant to do it for them. Have you found anything that you used to do a lot and you're not doing so much anymore?
No, see, I sort of disagree with that point, to be honest, because I think you have to have a certain way of talking to AI, I think, anyway. And I think from a client's point of view, I think it's because we work with it all day, every day, and we post and social media creation. I don't know if clients would be bothered to do that. I don't know if they would. And like I said before, I was using the free ChatGPT or AI or whatever, and then they might not personally want to pay for that, so they'll just be using the standard one. Whereas I don't know if they would have the time to actually do that themselves, which is why I'm not sure that we would be not needed.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, maybe. I don't know. I think you might be right, because the people who are generally coming towards the time poor, anyway, they don't have that time, do they, to be able to be doing all of this in like ChatGPT. And there's just so many other tools now that you can use. It's not just AI, but AI is like streamlined and built into automation, and we use automation a lot, and set up automated workflows. And then you can, but there's things like setting up AI chatbots, agents in that way. Like if you're a VA and you can specialize in that, and you can implement that into a small business, then it's going to help you get found. It's going to help you get clients in a way you've not been able to get before. So actually, I think AI has opened up the playing field for virtual assistants. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. So I work with various different clients, so I have to use online like chatbots to find out where orders are or whatever. And I do think if you are a VA that can niche into working with businesses that need chatbots and all that kind of thing, then absolutely there is a niche out there, because there are some big businesses that I contact and their chatbots are crap. Like literally they're terrible. And if you are able to niche into that, that is absolutely a game changer for you and your business, because some of them are horrendous. Like they'll cut you off. They don't, there's no option for you to reply. So if you can get into that, do it.
Yeah, do it. To everybody joining, welcome. We're talking about the threat of AI for virtual assistants at the moment, and whether there even is one. So if you've got any questions and you want to pop them in the comments, please do so, and we'll be more than happy to try to answer them. But yeah, I think you're right. I think there are people. I was talking to somebody yesterday from a very well-known global company. I won't name the name, and they're making massive cuts at the moment because they're implementing AI. So when it comes to really big corporations that can use AI in a very different way, and they've got the budgets to spend on really making it like you're talking to a person, not just that, but this person was a customer experience expert. So you can really replace those kind of people, and you're paying them like 100 grand a year. Well, I think that's where the threat really lies. But you still do need the people to implement that in the first place. But I think for virtual assistants, yeah, I think we're still, for now, really going to be needed. But I do think there's a threat. If you're not adapting to AI and automation, then repetitive basic admin work will definitely get automated at some point. And it's about understanding it enough so that you can come in and say, oh, I know how to do that for you, and I know how to check on it for you. The other thing is, how many companies do we meet? How many business owners do we meet? And they haven't even got a CRM system in place. And I just look at it now, and a few years ago that might have been stupid, but now it's utterly ridiculous because we're evolving that fast in that technological landscape that you're so far behind, it's going to be almost impossible to catch up.
You're right, but I do think it does depend in what industry you're in, because there are, we work with so many different people in so many different industries, and there, and I also think, and this is not me being, ageist or anything like that, it also depends on, your experience, in business, because there are some people that, didn't have AI and CRMs and automation and all that kind of thing way back when they started, and actually, if it's not broke, don't try and fix it kind of thing. And that is people's attitude. Like, one of my clients uses AI and they'll send me a whole stream of, what it's churned out. And I'm like, you don't need that. But they're going, oh yeah, look, I've done this. But actually, all they've done is just complete crap because AI's churned it out.
Yeah. Oh, you've frozen.
Or wording or whatever. Have I?
No, you're back.
But they are a very well-established business. And they don't need or they don't have any automation. They don't have any, anything set up like that, because they just do it the way they want to do it when they did it before all these systems came in place. So there are businesses that do survive and are very successful without using AI.
For now, because they're not scalable businesses. You can't be scalable if you don't have scalable systems like automated systems. You can't be scalable. You will eventually reach a capacity where you can't cope, or you're spending ridiculous amounts of money on employing people to do things that technology can do for you instantly. Just think about our business, right? So our client onboarding automated, our vetting process for associates automated, right? I could be paying people to do that work, but I'm not paying anything for that work to be done because it's automated. So these businesses they're going to end up crushed at some point. They do need to get on board with technology. It isn't just about how the daily use case. It's about, think about finance, think about the accountants world at the moment, right now. Accountancy and finances in the UK is moving to digital. It has to be digital. Legally, you're not going to be allowed anymore to submit anything via paper. And so lots of accountants, you can have like fudgy-dudgy accountants who are like, oh, I don't want to do that. And they will be at the bottom of the pile and the last ones, and they'll start to lose business. The accountants that are succeeding are the ones that have already made that shift well in advance. There was a gentleman here yesterday. So I own a co-working business as well. And he was here yesterday, and he'd spent the time here doing his accounts. He was adding receipts to a spreadsheet. And when I said to him, why aren't you using tools like HubDoc, where you just upload your receipts instantly? He had never even heard of it. So this is the kind of thing that's going to start slowing down productivity and progress. you know, it's changing across all sectors, the way we use technology.
But let me put this to you then, right? So recently I've had quite a lot of communications with HMRC, right? HMRC don't do anything, from my knowledge anyway. They are still sending out letters. They're still sending out, you know, this is HMRC. This is not Bill Port around the corner selling furniture. This is HMRC. They don't do anything by automation. They don't do, as far as I know anyway. They are still using archaic ways.
They are, but they're not going to be. Look, the HMRC are the ones that have implemented making tax digital. It is their shift. So it's come from HRC. It's starting in April 2026. So accountants have been making that shift now for the last few years, knowing it's coming. And as I say, the ones who have buried their head in the sand because they don't want to do it and they don't understand how the technology works are the ones that are going to lose their businesses. And there's some shifts. So in April 2026, if you are a qualifying income threshold of over £50,000 based on your previous income, that's got to be digital. From 2027, it'll be 30,000. From 2028, it'll be 20,000. That means from 2028, all accountants are going to have to go digital. And what I'm using this as an example because I do believe, look, government's a lot big brother, aren't they? They're watching everything we do. Of course, they want it all to be like that. They're moving towards getting rid of cash because they want to know where all that money is hiding, right? So that's going to happen everywhere. You know, it really is. And it's like this year, the EEA, the European Economic Area, brought out legislation that if you've got a website that is accessible by anyone in the European Economic Area, that is going to buy products from you or services from you, your website has to be accessible friendly. And now VAs could be just delivering that service alone, going through somebody's website, making it accessible friendly. We're talking about things like alt text, your color contrasts, all of those kind of things. This is the kind of thing where you've got to see it come in and be preparing for it before it happens. And AI is very much the same as that. And some people are just keeping their head stuck in the sand and they're not doing it. But that's a brilliant opportunity for virtual assistants to be able to find those businesses that are scared, that aren't making the shift, to specialise in that area and help them.
Yeah, I completely. No, I do. I completely agree. And that, you know, that going back to the chatbot thing and, you know, everything going digital. If you're a VA that does have those skills, then absolutely you can niche into that.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said though at the beginning, one of the things that clients still want that AI right now just cannot offer is human connection. It is human connection, it's trust, it's relationship building. And then it's proactive thinking, it's understanding a business, thinking proactively in a way that's bespoke to that business. And then it's thinking about things like confidentiality and ethics and emotional intelligence. Like I say, bespoke solutions to a business, creative, out-the-box thinking. Out-of-the-box thinking, you know, that's not really something that AI is going to learn from all the data it's been fed, because out-of-the-box thinking is innovative. It's something that's happening there in the moment. And AI will learn that eventually. They might learn a case study of a business that did this, and then it'll take that idea and it becomes, you know, mainstream. Everyone can do it. It's still always going to need those innovative, creative thinkers. Yeah. And AI is not going to be able to bring that to the forefront, is it?
No, I completely agree. And you know, it's quite, just using as another example, it just popped into my head. One of our clients that we work with, we take phone calls for them. And they actually learned that their CRM system could do these phone calls for them. Yeah. Fine, okay, not a problem. But it wasn't an actual person. It was a chatbot. And so they tried it. They lasted less than 24 hours before they came back and said, cannot cope with this because the way it was being answered, excuse me, their business name was being, mispronounced. And they were running through the script that had been pre-approved too quickly. And it was all that kind of thing. And like I say, they literally lasted less than 24 hours. They came back to me and said, we can't use that anymore. We need that personal touch. We need that direct, you know, customer contact with somebody that they can ask questions. So although it's getting there, it is way, way away from things like phone calls and things like that. Yeah. So if you're a VA that's happy to take phone calls, you know, or make phone calls on behalf of clients, again, that's another niche that you can offer.
That is brilliant advice, because I mean, you yourself could learn from that and go, I'm going to stick that on my website. And you make that a pain point. You turn that into a pain point with keywords that's going to go in your website and say, it's all right using AI agents to take your phone calls, but they're not you, they're not your staff, they're going to ruin your reputation. Is that what you really want? And you could solely niche into telephone calls, couldn't you? And open it's so easy to open a little call center now with technology. And so you could just offer that as a service. So VA should be out there looking at where people are struggling with AI and then niching into those gaps. And it's so easy. Like, you had to go to university years ago to, and you still do for things like coding and Python and all that. With no code technology now, with how accessible it is to learn, you can learn one particular AI niche in a day, just using tools like YouTube, and then download a free, copy of whatever it is and practicing. It's just so accessible now that you don't need to spend loads of money and spend months and months on courses to be a VA anymore. You can just literally go out there, join webinars, YouTube training, or paid mini courses to stay ahead. And you could say, and then become an expert in just that area. I mean, we're going to be using ClickUp, and lots of VAs use ClickUp. And when I first looked at ClickUp, it was way different to what it is now. So we're going to be using it for project management in the new direction our business is going. What's in there now is called Brain. It's AI. It's just your project management tools alone. They're going to be able to do so much for you. So go out there and learn something, and make all of your messaging and all of your targeting about that thing, especially clients are struggling with it. Do a questionnaire, do some market research. For example, we work primarily with business coaches. We could literally go into Facebook groups with business coaches and say, can you just tell me what the one area of AI is that you're struggling in? Bam, we've got our answer.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't take much, does it?
No, it doesn't. And I think, it's funny when we have these conversations, because I often think, why am I not posting that? Why am I not offering that as a service? I'm like, can you write that down?
Well, we need to do that, don't we?
We really do. Like, there's so many things in the last few days, that I've thought, we're not offering that as a service. Like, what, and why? It's kind of one of those things. But absolutely, you could spend. It's quite interesting, because I'm just talking to a client who I'm meeting with next week, who wants to come on board, and for me to do her social media. And she was like, I just want to spend one whole day a month coming up with content ideas, just on a piece of paper that I can send you. And I'm like, you don't need to spend a whole day coming up with content ideas, because you can ask ChatGPT, give me some ideas that you can give to me. You could spend an hour, 2 hours, maybe less, coming up with a month's worth of ideas. But people, I don't know if they're frightened of it. I don't know what, but there is so many gaps out there that, a little bit of research you could find and fill.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I think what we should be doing as VAs is looking at the kind of things our clients are asking us to use when it comes to AI. Take all of their feedback and turn those into pain points, because if they're struggling, other people are struggling. And like what you just said, I think some people are just scared of it or don't really know how to use it. The person you're talking about, I was actually with them yesterday, and I put new resources into my VIP and Growth Essentials membership. So we've got a free community and a paid for community for virtual assistants, and I'll put free resources in there as often as I can. But it is really difficult when you're so time poor. And I'd met with this person who is a customer experience expert, and we were talking about client personas, and I know about client personas, and I've built them out. And I thought, what about if we just did some client personas just for virtual assistants? I literally went into ChatGPT. You couldn't do this 2 years ago. And I said, I want to create client personas for virtual assistants. I want it to be branded in these colors. I gave it the hex codes. Here's my logo. Give me a PDF. Bam, done. 2 seconds. I would have been all down bloody Canva trying to do that. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right, because I like that website I did the other day. I just put into ChatGPT what I wanted it to look like, the services that I offer, all that blah 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 kind of thing, and it just gave me that image, which I then pulled, I created it all myself, but it gave me everything that I'd asked it for, so I could then make it my own. And so, not necessarily doing the whole job for VAs, but it is giving you a starting point to then, or more or whatever. So you can just use it as a guideline as well.
Yeah, you can, just to help you get over those, like, mind blocks and things like that. I'd love to ask the audience, what do you think? Do you see AI as a threat or a tool in your business? And let us know what AI tools you've tried so far. It'd be really interesting. So let's think about specific opportunities for VAs with new AI releases. So we've got things like what we've just talked about, really. You could offer AI prompt writing. So part of the problem is people know how to use ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. They know how to use these kind of tools, but they don't know how to prompt them. And it's all in the prompt. I've just given you an example of yesterday. I just in 2 seconds did this document, which is ideal client persona, but it did take a few prompts to get the final version perfect. And that's like having a conversation with an employee, and you're saying, well, yeah, it's great, but on the last page you kind of missed this. Can you go? And it's all about the prompt. Can you make that tone more empathetic? So if you can specialize and practice yourself in prompting to get an amazing outcome, you could just deliver a AI prompting writing service, couldn't you?
I think it's quite interesting as well, because there are times when I've asked ChatGPT to explain something to me, and we were talking about something last week, and I ran it through ChatGPT, and I was like, I don't understand this at all. And so I asked ChatGPT, can you explain this to me like I'm really stupid or like I'm 5 years old? And it literally will do that. So for me, that's brilliant. If I'm talking to a client and they want something specific and I don't really understand it, I can just quickly run it through ChatGPT and it will just give it to me like I'm 5 years old, which is brilliant to be able to do that.
Yeah, it is. It's brilliant for that kind of thing, like you've just said. The other tool is Copilot. So Copilot's Microsoft's amazing technology. I mean, I've only used it tiny little bit in Word documents. So I'll just go in. I don't even create Word documents anymore. I just go to Copilot, tell it what I want, done. And
I've never used that before.
Oh my God, do you use Word documents?
Yeah, I do, but I have Outlook, and that little Copilot thing does my head in. So I can't get rid of it.
It's AI. You got to use it. You can use it for so much. And I went to like a seminar a few years ago when Copilot was just being really thought about. It wasn't out yet, and it blew my brain. I'm not a Microsoft user. I'm a Mac user. But I use it in those tools, but I know the power of it, and it is absolutely mind-blowing. And in presentations, spreadsheets, but use it in your Word docs. We've just opened a co-working spot, and I wanted a open up and lockdown checklist. And I knew some of the things, but I always know there's going to be things I haven't thought about. So I said, look, I've opened a co-working business. I need an open up and a lockdown checklist. These are some of the things. Write it for me. Comes up with all these things I've never even thought of. And then I've got my sheet. And it's formatted because you tell it how to format it. I want it in this font, this colours. I want this. And it's just done, So it is fantastic for that kind of thing. There's a software. What's the name of it? I've got to find it. I taught this to people. So I was creating a course, I was creating presentations, and I thought there's got to be an AI out there that just creates presentations for you. And what's it called? Begins with Pop AI. So it's called Pop AI, and you literally go in and you say, I need a presentation about this. You can even go to ChatGPT, get the presentation written, and then put it in there, copy and paste it. This is what I want, and it will literally create the entire thing for you with images and everything. It's unreal. You could just be a VA offering presentation services, but you just do that. And you could have, if that might have taken you like, I don't know, you could only do 3 hours a day previously because it would have taken that long for 3 clients. You could just do like 10 clients now with something like that. So it's really thinking about those opportunities, isn't it, that are out there. So you've got things like that. And then you've got things like AI video editing. So you can use tools like Descript, Opus, Clip, Veed. the amount of content that people are leaving on the table. I mean, look, I'm guilty of it because I'm just busy. But our lives, I have done it, but I don't do it enough. Our lives every week, I put into Opus, and it automatically splices them into clips that can then be repurposed into socials. How many people could you be offering that service to? Where, look, I'm going to turn your content into a content recurring content machine, and you will be offering that to someone. Do you know what I mean?
See, this is the thing, isn't it? I've never ever used it. It just drives me insane because it's just constantly there. Whenever I go in to do an email, it's just there. And I'm like, oh, I even ChatGPT'd how to get rid of it because it was so.
Is that because you didn't know what Copilot was?
Because I didn't know what it was. So those that you've just reeled off, right? So I've got loads of videos that I've got to do that I've got to go through and like make into like content to go onto social media, and I'm not very experienced stuff. It's because I don't know about those tools.
And they're free. Go to Opus AI, put your video in, it will automatically split it and give you about 30 videos back instantly. All you got to do is just check them and then not rename them so you know what that each one's referring to. I suppose you're right, it is about educating people. Then, okay, now we know that. If I'm talking to you, you don't know. Let's go create a lead magnet for people to say the top AI tools you should be using in this industry right now, this industry right now, this industry right now. We've got a few people on TikTok. Mrs. Adama Marco, I think it is. She said, I watched your live 2 weeks ago and followed my niche and I'm pursuing it. Well, that is well done. We talk about niching all the time. And today, hopefully, if you haven't figured out your niche yet, hopefully we'll help you think about how you could niche into specific AI. And I know that there are a lot of people in countries like Africa, Nigeria, and they talk to me all the time, but and mainly because businesses are quite reluctant apparently in those countries to work with people remotely. But if you could be niching into AI and offering those services to people, it could be an absolute game changer for you. If you've got any questions about what we're talking about, please just pop them in the comments on Instagram as well. But yeah, so that's another thing you could offer, and editing has never been easier, with AI now. And then you've got like integration services. So I was talking to someone the other day, and we had a launch strategy call. So LT Business Management, which was my VA company, we've now moved into the OBM space. We help businesses with launch strategy, and one of the things we were talking about was running a masterclass in the new year and putting that on Eventbrite. And I said, no problem, I can use Zapier to take the people who register on Eventbrite and have them automatically go into your CRM. And she was like, can you? And it's like, yeah. And those kind of integration, if you understand how to use tools to integrate, pull things together that don't talk to each other normally, it's another brilliant thing. You could offer an audit of someone's business, look at what they're doing right now and say, that's a really long-winded way. Let me help you do it quickly. So for VAs, it's another great opportunity to be able to come in and to do that. And I'm telling you now, you could just spend a week learning something and that's it. And you wouldn't even need a website to offer these services. You could just be going out there, looking what people are commenting on in groups. Like there's groups for Go High Level, LinkedIn. You could just type in searches that would be a pain point and see what people are posting. And if they're saying things like, oh my God, I'm so frustrated, I don't know how to get this to happen, just message them.
Yeah. But where did you find out about all these other like platforms? Because I don't see anything advertised. I've never heard of like Pop or Opus or anything like that. So how did you
just
find out
searching? So for me, it was like I'm sitting there thinking there must be another way, and searching. Is there a tool out there that can do this? So some of it's just through searching and finding out. Some of it's because I've kept up with AI advances by going on courses and programs and conferences, and some of it I've learned through clients who are more technological advanced than I am, and I've seen what they're using. So I think the other thing I've got is I've got an alert. So one of the things you can do on ChatGPT, for example, is you can get it to email you every week or how often, wherever you want, with updates. So I do a newsletter that goes out to my VA community, and I want to know about all of the things that can impact VAs right now, from a legislation point of view, from a law point of view, or any opportunities. And so every week it sends me a industry update to my email from ChatGPT. So let me give you an example of some of the most recent ones, and just so you know. So it's called VA Industry Insights. I set it up and it just emails me every week, but it takes real sources, so it's real links, and then I can click on those links and go check that it's actually real. So some of those, and it's a great thing to do just for you to say, what's the new AI things coming out right now, and then you'll learn about it, or what tools have been released recently. So let me have a look. So the one of them was about Gemini Gems from Google. And then what I've got it to do, the prompt that I've used, is tell me why it matters for VAs and how they can exploit that opportunity. So let's talk about Google Gemini. So Google Gemini is a new thing that's been used in the Google Workspace, and it's and basically I got it to tell me what it is. So they're customizable mini chatbots, right? So they're built in Google Gemini, and they live in a side panel of your workspace tools like Docs, Sheets, Gmail. And they're designed for like specific roles or tasks. So they might do copywriting, they might do like a sales pitch. Have you ever seen that one, Cintra AI? And it's got all these little colourful people, and they're your new employees. A bit like that. Right. So I've said, okay, so what does that matter for VAs? And then how could you build a package offering around it? So the package offering was gem setup and customization. So you could offer a service that goes into a client's business, and it picks up, builds the right gem, so the right brand voice, the right sales gem, the right admin helper gem, and it uploads all the necessary files or logos or templates and governance and sets that up. It could do gem training and empowerment. It could do gem within workflow integration. So a VA could go in and say, have you heard about Google Gems? Are you using Google? God, how many people are using Google? Do you want me to come in and do this for you? Right, see what I mean? So I've got that set up. So every single week that comes out to me, so I know. The other thing was EU VAT. So VIDA, or VIDA it might be, keeps moving the digital reporting and e-invoicing. So this was all about the EU's digital age policy that's coming in, was coming in, I think this year, and how that's going to affect VAs that are working maybe on helping clients with finance across the EU. So I can keep my community up to date, but I use AI to tell me what's coming. I don't sit there searching. Do you know what I mean?
See, this is the thing though, isn't it? If you don't, it would never cross my mind to put into Google, can you tell me the latest AI platforms that are available? Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have anything that flashes up. Or see, in my mind, why didn't the person that set up ChatGPT, as an example, implement that straight away anyway? Why do you need to set it up? Why didn't they think of that?
Well, it's just evolving, isn't it? It's been evolving since it came out. But I suppose, again, like you didn't know you could do that. You didn't know that you could get it to talk to you in that way. You can get it to integrate with your emails and all sorts of things now, and send you, reminders for tasks and everything. So there's loads and loads of things you can get to do. Somebody's asked on TikTok if we can mention some tools for them to look into. If you're talking about AI, it's just everything that we've mentioned so far. So it's becoming a specialist in something like ChatGPT prompting. It's becoming a specialist in something like we've just mentioned, maybe Google, and then you could be an expert in Google Gemini gems, and you could be setting up their little gem bots in there. So things like that. I'm going to go through a few more, but it kind of does blow your brain, but I only know what I know. There's way more that I don't know as well. That's the scary.
Yeah. Like this has blown my mind, because I never realised. Like, I was impressed that it could give me content ideas and like rewrite stuff like that. But like, this is like, hang on a minute, I'm missing a trick here.
Well, if you paid for AI Business, the enterprise version, there's even more in there. in
I
ChatGPT
don't.
even more. And so you've got things like Notion. So Notion uses AI and it's really good. There are some VAs that just only specialize in Notion. So if you can specialize in like ClickUp and Notion, tools that business owners are using for like project management, but they don't know the AI capabilities behind it, and you can offer that as a service, that would be another great thing to do. And clients are using things like chatbots now. So if you can set up chatbots, if you can be I'll tell you where clients are going to be time poor. They know the power. They might know the power of like an AI agent, chatbots, but they don't know how to train it. So if you can, because you have to train these things in your business, and it has to know all of your answers to all of the questions people might ask. So if you can offer a service where you can train AI for clients, that's all you got to do. So just learn how to do that, and then set that up for clients. And then obviously, like we've just said, you're looking at things like admin support and productivity setup. So tools like Notion, AI ClickUp, AI Slack, GPT, all of these things where you can say, well, we can come and help your teams work smarter, because now we're talking about companies that might have teams, not just one solopreneur. And so you can go in and help that team work a lot smarter by helping them with setting, Notion dashboards up, or setting up Slack GPTs, and optimizing ClickUp workflows. In fact, in ClickUp, you can do free training on ClickUp to learn how to use it. So just go to ClickUp like University, get a certificate at the end of it. That's it. You're a ClickUp AI expert overnight.
Wow, that's mad.
Do you know what I mean? So if you think about niche into AI, because that's where you need to be. And then you've got like AI email management you could set up for people as well. And then there's other things you can use AI for, so like writing proposals, standard operating procedures. Scribe is a brilliant tool for that. Have you heard of Scribe? So Scribe, it sits as an extension, like in your Google Chrome. And if you, for example, your client had a specific process for something that they do, you would do the process. You'd log into this, then you'd go here, then you get, and Scribe writes it all out and watches you do it, writes it all out. There you go. There's your operating procedure. It's done. So you don't have to spend hours writing out, oh, well, this is how I do this. This is how. Follows you and does it for you. So that's another one you can use. Let's just check if we've got any more questions. Notion, Slack, and Click are the next tools I want to learn about. I would definitely recommend ClickUp, because teams use it, solopreneurs use it, but the training is really, really good. It's short videos and you get your certificate at the end of it as well. Let me just check Insta. No questions on there at the moment. So you've got all of these different tools you can use, and then you can you've got tools for summarizing discovery calls. I mean, you don't really need a VA for that, but you could have a VA who sets it up for you. So, when we're on a Zoom call now, we don't need to have pen and paper to write everything down. You've got things that come into the call with you and summarize it all for you. You've got all of that as well. Creating scripts for like your lives or for your videos. So, lots of people don't know really what to say to the camera. You could be helping clients, develop scripts and then they just use like a teleprompter app, which are free, to then, do their videos. And then repurposing, like we've just said, this very podcast, you can repurpose content into so many things. So this podcast now, I could literally repurpose into smaller videos, a newsletter, a blog, a carousel. Like now with ChatGPT, you can upload files, get it to read the files, and create, like, for example, I had 2 calls this week for strategic support. I uploaded the summary of the call or whatever we were doing, gave it a few prompts, and said, on the back of that, write me a proposal. Done.
Do you know, it's really funny, right? Because my partner works for a very well-known bakery. And he said to me, oh, I've got this new thing at work I need to do. So can I borrow your laptop? I need to design a Eagles, do they call it Eagles view?
Well, bird's eye view, is it?
Bird's eye view, of the back of the truck, how it's all laid out. It needs to be all colour coordinated into the bakery's colours, and needs to be really clear for people to be able to see. So I went into ChatGPT, put it all in there, exactly what I wanted, and it just gave me a design, which I tweaked and messed about with myself. But he was like, like literally blown away. And that's the you know how big and how clever it really is. You can just put stuff in there, and it will just
And
give
just give
that
it to you. My sister-in-law makes coasters, and now she just puts into ChatGPT what the bespoke images her clients want, and it just makes it for her. You don't have to use ChatGPT for that. There's far better tools for image creation. I'm trying to think of the name. The one beginning with D. Just so many anyway that are out there that you can use to create this. And you know, the other funny thing is, I think there's the site called fan something. Anyway, people create AI images and sell them.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
As like, oh my God, the possibilities are endless. But I think the learning is that the real opportunity for VAs isn't replacing humans. It's VAs becoming the bridge between AI tools and overwhelmed clients, because most business owners don't have the time to set these up, but you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I completely agree. And I think that's why, from my side, I don't think AI will really take over that much, because there will always be people that don't have, like myself, that don't have the ability, don't have the time, can't really be asked, don't understand it, that they can go to somebody who's niche and who's advertising, they can do that and go, this is what I need, can you go and do that? And that VA goes and does that. So, and from the telephone point of view as well, it's proofs in the pudding. We tried it, didn't like it.
100%, yeah. But we've got someone on TikTok, they're going to be like, what did they say? They're going to be definitely hitting Google with this now as well. This is working smart, not hard. Absolutely, it is working smart, not hard. It's even faster than GPT and creates better images. She uses Gemini for that. That's brilliant. What's the what is it called now? I can't believe it. My brain has gone to mush. Yeah, you've got Deep AI, Adobe as well. Adobe Firefly, that is really powerful, really, really powerful. So people are not just sticking to ChatGPT, but there's so much out there. Even Canva's got really good. In Canva?
In Canva, AI in Canva as well.
Not just that, but in Canva there's apps, right? One of the things is, I learned this from another VA. I didn't know you could do this, but in there, she was like, oh, the image is really boring and whatever. So, look, I got an image of me blowing some like gold dust for Christmas. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if that was a video and it moved? So I use an app, you pay for some credits in Canva, and then you prompt it and say, I want to be blowing the dust, and I want to move, and it creates it, and you become a moving image. It's crazy. So if you are struggling as a virtual assistant right now to find your niche, there has never been a better time to niche into AI, not just all AI, but something in particular. And thinking about things like Google, how many businesses are using Google? Just niche into that. I know someone who only works in AI and automation in Microsoft, and they can charge up to 50 grand for their projects. And they're not a VA, but still, you know, that's where this journey can take you. It can take you into consultancy. You're not a VA anymore. You are now a consultant, and that's what you're offering to people. So, and you can just teach yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? God, it really opens my eyes when we talk about stuff like this.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's amazing. Well, I think that's the end of the live today, but I really hope it's helped everybody that's joined to really think outside the box, and how AI is not going to be here to take away your job. It's going to give you a massive opportunity to increase your chances to get clients. So you've got to start using AI in the right way. And maybe sometime we will do some sort of live, AI demonstration of all the different things that you can do with it. We'll have to, won't we?
We'll have to do that. We'll have to plan it out really carefully.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining, and we will see you next Friday at 10 a.m. UK time, and love to see you here. We're not always on TikTok because TikTok likes to have a wobble with us, not always allowing us to do the lives, but we're always on Instagram, and we're always on YouTube, and we're on all popular streaming channels for podcasts. Just search for the VA Live.